In this video, we get the engine back into the VF and start mocking up some of the turbo setup. So let's get into it. Now before the engine could go back in the car, the Castlemaine Rod Shop billet flex plate was fitted to the engine. ARP assembly lubricant was applied to the head of each flex plate bolt, as well as blue Loctite to the threads, as per ARP's instructions, and then hand tightened before being torqued down to 85 foot-pounds in a crisscross pattern. Before the TCE converter was fitted, I pre-filled it with some Ac Delco Dexron 6 transmission fluid. The engine mounts were bolted to the engine before getting dropped into the car. This had to be probably one of the easiest engine refits I've ever done. The bell housing bolts and engine mount bolts were tightened into place. With the engine now bolted into place, I got to refitting some of the things around it. The alternator, Killaboost lowering bracket and heat shield were fitted up to the engine. With the intake refitted, I removed the factory fuel rails with the factory injectors. I then got to modifying the coil brackets to move the coils up higher on the rocker covers. The coils and modified brackets were then fitted to the engine. The radiator was dropped into place with the new top brackets I had made up. The Killaboost turbo manifolds were then dropped in place and bolted in using ARP exhaust manifold bolts. Turbosmart 60mm powergate was fitted to the manifolds. The spoolie buoy was then bolted into place. The factory top radiator hose hits the compressor cover, so a new custom one will be made up. Now that's a big fire me up. Purely just a mock-up for now, and still a long ways to go. But like always, if you've got any comments or questions, make sure to chuck them below, and thanks for watching.